Episode 6. I am super excited about today's episode.
Yes, me too.
I am. I'm like, oh, finally we get to talk about it. And finally it is summertime. I am so happy.
Yes, I know.
Oh my gosh. Yesterday was our first day of summer. And I literally was like, I can finally rest and not feel guilty about resting.
Yes. So yesterday I sat on the couch with a book and for like
so nice.
an hour read, and it was so quiet in my house. It was so nice. In the back of my mind, I was like, okay, I have dishes and laundry, but I'm just going to enjoy.
Like that can just wait.
Yeah.
I know. I like actually cooked, but like took my time, and I love like, I don't know. I love cooking. It's really fun. And then now that my son is getting older, I started to buy him a lot more kitchen utensils, and I've been posting about that, but he is loving it, and he gets so involved, and he like knows that once it's time to eat and I'm starting to make dinner, he's just like waiting for me, like, where's my stuff?
Oh yeah.
And when I start like stirring things on the stove, he's like, give me something to stir, give me a bowl. So he like literally does the same. It's really cute. I love it all.
Fun.
Yeah. Super, super fun. All right. So today we're going to be talking about telehealth, and then we'll go into our mom segment, but telehealth. Whew. Shout out to everybody who has done telehealth and literally like taken a whole new way of providing treatments and evaluations and taking it on and just like working together and really sharing tons of tips and ideas, because it was like a huge learning curve for me.
Oh, for sure. And I think it was so sudden, right? Like
Super sudden. It was kind of like one of those things where like, okay, we're not going back to school. Okay. Like there was just like a constant like layer of like uncertainty.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
That's
my
how
gosh.
I felt. So you just we just learned as we went. But, thank you to you, because you're our team leader and you just kind of took the reins and figured all of these things out, what platform we were going to use, just assigning some activities for each of us to be working on. So that way, as our OT team, we came together and we were ready to start when we needed to start.
Yeah, it was like a huge learning curve, and I'm like, okay, because I think all of us were like, we don't feel comfortable when it's like you're just like thrown into something, right?
Yeah.
And so like the more that I was like, okay, I just need to like just gather as much as I possibly can, and then kind of go through each of them and pulling bits and pieces and kind of making a plan that would work for our team. But I think everybody helped. Like we all worked together.
Yeah.
Like I could not have done it without everybody.
Yeah. And so maybe just to backtrack, if anybody listening doesn't know what telehealth is, let's kind of go over that.
Okay. So telehealth is just a newer trend in healthcare. And there are tons of pros about telehealth, because not everybody can, it's just easily accessible interventions and evaluations and care that can be provided either via like telephone, or it could be provided like an online platform like Zoom, or there's tons of different like Doxy. There's tons of different platforms that a person can utilize to be able to be in contact with their patient or client or student. And like I said, it's a newer trend, and I feel like it has been around for a few years. And this year, I feel like everybody was able to get a glimpse of it.
Yeah, definitely we did. And yeah, like you said, there were definite benefits that I could see right away. I mean, there are pros and cons to it for sure. We can get into that, but I did see some benefit to it. And as stressful as it was in the beginning, it was a fun experience. A fun way to connect with your students or patients and their families.
Oh, totally. And it was like you're really having to think outside the box and really think about what they could potentially have in their house that we can utilize during sessions. It was like, it really made me like stop and like have to like, I mean, obviously you like treatment plan and you think about all of that good stuff, but like I really was like, okay, like how can we incorporate certain things without certain cameras and
yeah,
really like asking parents what they had in their homes and then making a list and then from there like treatment planning. But I love that stuff.
yeah.
Like problem solving myself and thinking about like, okay, I can use this. And you mentioned what our friend she used, like as far as like a balance beam and all of that stuff.
Oh yeah. So Sarah, she's what we always call
Oh
her.
my
Like
gosh.
she's so
has
creative and like
the best
homemade
ideas.
OT. Like she's always making things.
And I'm always like in awe every time like she's like, oh yeah, this, and she's like so like nonchalant about it too. I'm like, oh my God, it's so cool though.
Yeah. So she just had the idea to roll up a towel because every family has different resources at home. Some have more than others. And so she just really was thinking of things that everybody would have. And so she was having the kiddos roll up the towel and stand on it like if it was a balance beam. And she told me, I'm like, oh, okay, is that really challenging? And it is if you actually do it. And then if you think about it, you can have the child fold the towel. So you're working on bilateral coordination and motor planning and all of that good stuff. But so just, yeah, like you said, pushing yourself to think out of the box and think of some new activity ideas that everybody, regardless of what they have at home, could be able to participate with. And so yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It was definitely a learning experience, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So with us, we had the opportunity to be able to choose which platform would be best for our team. And again, everything was like pretty much trial and error, and there was a lot of positives, but there were some hiccups that we kind of just had to work through. I mean, with anything, you kind of just are going along and you're learning and you're getting better. What I did appreciate was the fact that everybody was super flexible and understanding, like whether it was the therapist or whether it was teachers, parents, everybody knew that this was a big learning curve. And so everybody kind of took it on with a lot of grace. And so I think that was something to kind of just shout out. But we wanted to kind of get a few different platforms so that way we can play around with what would work best for each student. We had the ability to use Zoom, but there were certain limits of features. This is just obviously like my perspective, and you can jump into,
I agree.
Like, I don't know, there was just certain features that weren't available, and it was like really tricky to come up with things that were more interactive. And so, yeah, that was really challenging for me because like I would like share my screen, but they may not have had like the ability to move things around. But what I did like about Zoom was the fact that it was like I've never really had like a huge hiccup as far as like the connection.
Yes, I had that same experience. And Zoom was you'd almost be able to connect right away.
Oh, totally.
Compared to the platform that we were using. And so that was maybe a little bit easier, especially if the parents or the families have experience with Zoom or they already had it downloaded. That was really simple for them.
And it was, like a lot of the other team members were using Zoom, like, and then Zoom was being used for like IEP meetings and whatnot, at least in the district that we work in. So again, I wanted to get a variety of different platforms because I felt like, it just gives us more opportunity to learn. So I researched, there's a few different ones that I looked up, and one was Doxy, and I know that one was free, but being that there was an influx of users, I was hearing that there was a lot of poor connections. And so the more that I was researching, I'm like, okay, I want something that's obviously HIPAA compliant and, PERPA compliant and all those types of things. And so one of the platforms that I was able to find was their platform. And it had a lot of built-in features that were primarily kind of driven for speech therapists, which was a drawback for obviously because we're occupational therapists. But I did feel like everything was a little bit more user-friendly in a sense where we can bounce resources and share certain things so we're not recreating the wheel individually.
We were able to upload our resources right on there. Mm-hmm. So we were able to put different categories of what our resources were. And then when we would connect with the student, then we were able to go right to those resources and pull it up, and I could see it, the student can see it. And then, like you said, it could be interactive. So the student on their end could have control so if we were uploading, say, a visual motor worksheet or a writing worksheet, they'd be able to interact with it on their end as well, with either typing or writing or drawing or
and it was a lot of fun. Like, I feel like it had little like fun features that were very kid friendly. So you can give them like a sticker, or if they were doing really well, you can have them earn like a break. And so basically they would play like a little interactive fun game that you can see. So there was like memory, there was like a basketball game, there was a dentist game, which was like a huge hit. All the kiddos wanted to play that game. But I really liked that it had that option, because a lot of kiddos, they had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was a big perk. And I think some of the feedback that parents were saying, they're like, oh, this is cool. This is really fun.
Yeah. I heard the same.
Really, really fun stuff. And another thing that I enjoyed, but I obviously need to get better on how to really incorporate that and all of that stuff, but it collects data, and I'm huge on data. Mm-hmm. So that was another big perk. So yeah, I don't know.
And I liked also the schedule that was built in. That was really cool. Nice to have. So, you would create your students, and then you'd have the ability to schedule them. And when you schedule them, it would send them an email, but it would also put the student on your schedule. So it was one easy go-to place. You didn't have to create a separate schedule. It was right there for you. So I did that feature.
Yeah, I did too. Because like if you made like a Zoom like meeting invite, you still had to put that in your regular like agenda or your regular, calendar or whatnot. The challenging things though with their platform for me were the share screen was a really tricky option. Like, it worked sometimes and didn't work sometimes, which, I mean, if you're wanting to share more interactive PowerPoints or boom cards or whatnot, like, it was really tricky for some kiddos to be able to access that. So then again, total trial and error. So I was like, okay, I know I want to use this resource for this student, so maybe we use Zoom because it's it was just a lot of trial and error. And like I said, parents were like super understanding. So thank you.
Yes. And I mean, we have kiddos at home. Our kiddos weren't in school at this time, but I just was feeling for the parents who were having to work from home and then also meet with teachers, meet with us. It was a lot for everybody.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I think everybody.
There was like a few meetings where I was like holding my son in my hand. I'm like, hi, everybody, say hi. And he was like totally waving at everybody. But it was, a lot of people I saw a lot of, coworkers' kids. So that was neat that everybody was able to kind of just be understanding on all of those things.
Yeah. We all just did the best that we could, given the situation. So, but.
Yeah, totally. Another thing that I found, so Classy had a really good webinar about being able to do an evaluation with sensory processing and, looking at more structured observations and being able to evaluate and understand sensory, and I literally was like, oh, this is exactly what I needed. And it's totally doable. It's obviously trickier and it's different, but the fact that I knew that we had the ability to do it and the fact that I was able to do it was really nice, because I was able to provide a really thorough and in-depth evaluation via telehealth that I didn't feel like I needed additional information about. So that was really nice, because I don't know, that gave me a lot of like, I was really nervous about, I'm like, is it going to be a thorough evaluation? But like they mentioned is, this is another form of therapy, and the evaluation should still be very thorough. And if it can't be for whatever reason, obviously you're going to state that, but for the most part, you can do a lot.
Yeah, I did not have any evaluations yet on telehealth. So I don't have that experience. So when I do, if I do.
Oh yeah. Well, the good thing is we'll be like totally ready and prepared, you know, and I think that if this is what continues in the fall, then we'll be that much better. I think everybody will be that much better. And I think over the summer, people are going to continue to learn to get stronger and get better. I mean, that's pretty much what we love, right?
Yeah.
QGlobal. How do you feel about QGlobal?
You know, I didn't really use it that much.
So QGlobal is through Pearson, and they have a few evaluations, and we will definitely make a post about on a telehealth toolkit for occupational therapists. So definitely head over to our Instagram, OT.Mommas.Life. And we will be posting a few different evaluations that are available through QGlobal, which can be provided online. And some of the questionnaires, like the sensory profile, can be actually emailed to the parent, and they can fill it out over email. And but there's that, and then there's a few other like developmental inventories that are pretty good. I haven't fully been able to like experience that, but that's definitely something that I'm going to be researching this summer.
Another resource, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's like our little takeaway about telehealth. We have definitely a lot of fun things coming your way in regards to telehealth. So I don't want to like fully spill the beans right now, but I definitely wanted to let you guys know that there's a lot to come because I feel like telehealth is, like I said, there's a lot of pros. With telehealth, families were able to really get an understanding of why we were recommending certain things, and they were able to carry over a lot of our recommendations throughout the week at home.
Yeah, that's the best part of it.
Oh yeah. So being able to generalize was really, really nice to be able to interact. And then for me, I thought it was fun when the kiddos were like, "This is my dog," and they were showing me their little dog, or they're showing me their favorite toys, or
your room. Let me take you on a tour.
Yeah, I thought that was a lot of fun, and it just kind of brought more, I guess, therapeutic use of self to the intervention and the sessions. That I mean, I don't know, in a different way, and I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree.
So we have a lot. I don't think it's going anywhere. So I feel like we have a lot to come. I don't want to, and we don't want to fully explain everything because it's a secret. Just kidding. No, it isn't. But you guys will just head over to OT.Mommas.Life and also to Brightside Momma and Heart of Occupation for more information and a lot of fun things coming your way. Talk a lot. I'm sorry. I drank too much coffee this morning, Shannon.
I have not had coffee.
Oh, I'm sorry. I know. You're like, how many cups though? I'm just kidding. Oh gosh. Yeah.
Okay. So our Mama segment today. Yes. So we're kind of starting. We kind of started at the beginning with where our journey as mom started, and I think one thing that I was thinking about that we could share is how we prepared for our little ones coming, like including, getting your nursery ready and the baby registry, which was so fun.
Oh my gosh.
I remember the first time doing our baby registry. They give you like those guns and you walk through the store and you just, scan whatever you want. We just were like, where do we start? We had no idea.
I felt like my husband and I were just like scanning everything. We're like, gum? Sure. Like literally like going through the whole Bye Bye Baby and just like scanning everything. Target, same thing. Oh my gosh.
I remember looking at your baby registry and what was on there? Was it M&M's?
Oh my gosh. Oreos. So backstory, my husband, when we registered for our wedding, oh my gosh. So we went to like 4 different stores and he was like, obviously like so over it. Cause I was like going back and forth on what I wanted. And towards the end, we had like our last stop was Target. So we're registering for that. But like I said, my husband was like so over it. And then he was like, I'm going to put Oreos on there cause he loves Oreos. And I'm like, seriously? No, this is our wedding registry. And his face was kind of like not sad, but he was kind of just like so like And I'm like, fine, go ahead and go for it. And people actually bought them for our wedding. But so anyways, for our baby registry, he was like, I'm totally going to add in Oreos just to carry it on. I'm like, go for it. By this point, I was like waddling around so uncomfortable. I'm like, go for it.
That is so you and your husband. That's so funny.
Oh gosh, he's crazy. He's so fun. But yeah. What were some of the things that like people were telling you to buy? Cause that's what I was doing. I was like asking you guys, like, what should I for sure get?
Yeah, I know. I think that's what you do, right? Like you're asking other mamas, what should I get? And I remember starting with nursing supplies because I knew I was going to nurse and I knew there was going to be a lot that went into it. So, we had a breast pump, a double breast pump, which I thought was really.
Did you get it through insurance?
No, mine was not covered by insurance, but always check because yours was.
Yes. Well, mine was like a part of it, but I wanted a pump that was like, portable and you didn't have to plug in.
Yeah.
Which was like super helpful.
Yes. Especially if you're
traveling.
Yeah.
So I had to pay like $100 out of my pocket.
Oh, but that's
still not bad.
No, not bad at all.
And I loved it. Like I had the Spectra.
Okay. I had the Medela, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I heard a lot of really good things about that one too.
Yeah, it was good. I think so that was number one. Like what else did you feel like you needed for nursing?
For nursing? Well, thankfully I like at the hospital. Well, I didn't know what I needed for like nursing. I was like so like, oh my gosh. Well, I knew that I wanted to get like nipple balm.
Mm-hmm.
So we're totally going to go there, you guys. We're just going to dig right into that. And I knew that there was obviously going to be times where it was going to be super uncomfortable. Like I've heard chapped issues happening.
Yeah.
That I was like, oh, I didn't want to think about that. But yeah, I definitely put like 50 of those balms. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. I put some of those balms on there. Like little ice packs, I think I put on there. But when I was at the hospital, the lactation consultant, she like, cause he wasn't latching and I was like, oh my gosh, what's happening? So she gave me a nipple shield and it's like this little like plastic thing that goes over your nipple and it gives the baby like something to basically latch onto. And, it was life-changing. The first lactation consultant, like I obviously don't know the names, but she gave me like a bigger one. So then I asked like another lactation consultant. She's like, whoa, this is like way too big. Like we need to give you this. And so she like, cause again, I had no idea what I was doing. And so she gave me that. And what I definitely did was I went to go buy more of that. So that could be something you guys just to have in case, because a little fast story is, like the day after I was discharged, I had put the nipple shield like in a little container and it got misplaced and I didn't have an extra one at that time, or at least I thought, because like it was a blur, and I like freaked out. I was like, oh my gosh, how am I going to feed my baby? Mm-hmm. And then my husband's like the calm, the calm person in this household, but he was like, it's okay. There's another one over here. And so literally like
nice.
Once I had that, I like guarded it with my life. And then I just placed an order and I ordered a ton of them just so that way I never had that.
I actually tried one. I think it was with Sophia and it did not work for her.
No?
Yeah. Oh. So yeah, definitely something to know that is out there.
Yes.
That could be helpful if you are running into trouble or difficulties with nursing.
It was like life-changing. And it was literally like, even to this day, like the other day, we're cleaning underneath our bed and a freaking nipple shield was still there. I'm like, ew, he's like... I mean, it's so gross. I'm like, oh my gosh, don't judge me, you guys.
Oh, you're funny.
Yeah. No, but one thing that I was like hearing all about, because like, for like being a first time mom, you're just like obviously like super nervous because you don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
And there's so many really cool things out there that may seem appealing. but they do not meet the full expectations. So
okay, yeah.
For me, I don't know if you guys have heard of the owl.
No.
But it's like it monitors the oxygen of the baby, and it like is placed on their foot. So at night,
oh yeah, okay.
Like it just monitors the baby's oxygen level. And for me, I was like, oh, I have to have that. Like, no judgment on that company, but just keeping it real. Yeah, I totally wanted it, and so it was pretty pricey. It was like 300 and something. And I was very appreciative of a person who bought it, and I loved it. Like I thought it was like amazing at first because I was like super nervous and I was very scared of anything happening to my little one while I slept.
Yeah.
And I put it on him, but my initial as an OT, once I put it on his foot, I noticed that it was super heavy. So it was causing like plantar flexion, and it was like, it just looked heavy, and that poor foot was just like, it just made me feel uncomfortable because I'm like, oh, that's like putting him in a position that I really don't want him in.
Okay.
And then one night I got like an alert, and it basically told me that his oxygen level was at 80. So I jumped up and I like freaked out, and I started crying because again, my hormones were on another level. And I was like, oh my gosh, I need to call it. So I called like the doctor, and the doctor was like, okay, you have to take a step back. Like those things are not accurate, and I do not like them.
Oh, really?
And I'm like, interesting. She's like, yeah. She's like, just keep that in mind. They're not accurate at times. And sometimes the baby can move, and then it reads something and it gives you an alert. So, I mean, it has positives, obviously.
Yeah.
But for me, it definitely was like super scary. And then I started reading that like some babies, like it would like get really, really hot. And burn the baby.
Oh no.
So then I like totally returned it, and I was able to get like a really nice rocking chair from it.
Okay.
So I was still able to like definitely use something for the baby, but yeah, that's my experience with that.
Yeah. I think, when you're a new mom and you're first bringing your baby home, I think that's a common thing, right? Like you're like, okay, is my baby going to be okay when they're sleeping? Are they going to, roll, like not roll, but are they going to be able to breathe? Cause they can't roll yet. And then you're worried, am I going to hear them if they need me? So,
and then it's like, you're so sleep deprived. Like, what if I go into the deepest sleep ever?
You're so unsure about that. I think sleeping, like moms are usually worried about the sleeping. So for us, we had a baby monitor, which is pretty common nowadays, right? So with my first daughter, we had and for us, I think I talked about this a little bit on my Bright Side Mama page, but we had our girls sleep in the crib right away. Izzy was day one. She slept in the crib, so she didn't sleep with us. She didn't sleep in a bassinet in our room, and that was just the decision that we had made. But then again, the room was next door to ours, but I was a little worried, like, okay, are we going to hear her? What if she's crying? You just don't know what to expect. So we had the baby monitor. And that was really helpful to be able to just hear her right away and to be able to look over and see her. So for a first mom, that might be something that you're really wanting.
Definitely do that.
But as a second, when I had my second, I kind of realized, as a mom, no matter how far, if your child's room is like
you can hear them.
You can hear them. They made me like breathe heavily. I will wake up out of a dead sleep, or my husband will. Like you hear them.
I feel like it's that movie. Oh my gosh, what's that movie when like everybody has to be super quiet, and then if not, like you make like a pin drop, like the monsters. I don't even know what the name of it is.
I know what movie you're talking about. I can't think of the name, but I did see that. Yeah, yeah. Well, that's
you can totally hear everything.
Yeah, you can hear you'll hear them.
Yeah, totally.
So with my second one, we didn't even use the monitor. No.
Oh wow, that's good to know.
And I also had that confidence to know, like, okay, I'm putting her in her crib. She's fine. And so I didn't need to see her. I knew I could hear her. So yeah, that wasn't as important for my second one as it was the first one.
That's really good to know. That was right, I only have one, so maybe because I religiously use it now. Like I'm a hawk, and I am a stalker with him when he's asleep because I'm just like, oh, look at he's so cute.
Yeah.
It is kind of funny. I really like it though, because sometimes like I'll hear him like literally laugh or I'll hear him like fart. And I think it's just like the cutest little thing. And I'm so in love with my son. Another really good thing that, in fact, we were just talking about is a really good swaddle, like blanket, because obviously they're so used to being in the womb that it's like so important that they still feel that comfort and that input. And so you definitely obviously are not just going to place the baby in the bassinet without some like really, good input, just so that way they feel secure and safe. I ended up getting, I forgot the name of it. Maybe we'll make a post about that, but, it's just made of really good material, and it's like a really big swaddle blanket that, you can really wrap the baby in, and they're not able like to get out of it, because you'll know, like, as the baby gets stronger, they're able to like get out of that swaddle.
Out of the blanket. Yeah.
And so you want to just make sure that, you're obviously not putting the baby's like, you don't want to have like loose clothing on the baby when they're going to sleep and whatnot. But
yeah, I think we had the muslin blanket.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Really good swaddles. And then we also, as they got a little bit bigger, there was those sleepers that had the swaddle, so it was like a sleeper blanket almost.
Oh yeah.
And then the arms were cut out, and then you would pull the baby's arms down, and then it had the material that strapped and velcroed.
Yep.
And so that made both the girls feel really good when they would sleep. So that was
a really helpful.
I forgot about that. That was really helpful for sleeping. Yeah.
That's super, super good. And again, these are just like our own experiences. Like, obviously do your own research with your kiddos and whatever, you feel makes, you comfortable. And also if you have any concerns, definitely talk to your pediatrician about that. But this is just like our ideas that kind of worked for us.
Yeah.
That I'm like, oh, what would I really, really, really recommend? Yeah. Oh, the Frida. It's like disgusting because it looks disgusting because you're having to like, I love it. Like
the nose Frida.
Yes. The nose Frida is basically, it looks like a straw that you're sucking like boogers from, but it is not, you're not like eating them.
They don't go all the way up through the straw. They just,
it's
stuck in that.
Yeah, it's stuck in that thing and you have to clean it every now and then. But I like that better than that regular green suction thing.
The bulb. I did not like the bulb at all.
Because you can't really see if you're like
and
getting the booger.
Yeah. I think that was one recommendation from a mom
I don't know why
friend.
I'm hesitant to say booger too. I'm just like that thing in your nose that has dirt and stuff. The booger, guys, the booger.
But babies have a lot of boogers. Like, you need to keep their nose nice and clear, especially when they're nursing so they can breathe and, feeding. So that was a really important little thing to have. As long as you're not too grossed out by it. I don't think my husband ever used it. I think it was always me who
really?
used it. I
think both of us did. My husband's the one that does like the nail clipping. I can't. I just get
really?
I can't. There's no way. He's like totally like a pro now, and he does it all the time.
Oh, I do that too.
And I'm just like, geez, like I can't though. I'm like, I get super nervous.
One thing that one of the nurses told me, instead of using a nail clipper on a newborn, was just use the file, because you're really worried about cutting them. And so we would file them when they were really little. Plus they're so like little and delicate. And so it worked out fine, because I was worried about that, like cutting it too short.
I know. Oh, I can like smell him. I love newborn phase. Well, all the phases, it's all so fun.
I think, and two, baby bottles, that was a big thing. Yeah. There's so many baby bottles.
I was so overwhelmed. I think I got like every brand, and I'm like, let me just any, mini, miny, mo, because I have no idea.
You have no idea. And a lot of times you do have to try it with the kiddo, like your baby, just to see. I
have another, sorry, it just came to my mind, but go for it. Sorry.
I know, I'll just bring back all these memories.
Yeah.
So for us, we ended up using, we started with plastic bottles. And then when I went through my little transition period where I was like, okay, we're not using plastic anymore, I got rid of all of those bottles. And then we did
the glass bottles.
No, I didn't use glass bottles. I probably would have, if I had a baby now, I would choose glass bottles.
See, I used Dr. Brown's, and it had like an air, like that way they're not swallowing a lot of air. But I think the next one, I think I'm totally going to do, I'm going to try it anyways, the glass bottles. We have some. I don't know why I didn't.
So the Dr. Brown's has the air filter in glass. So that would be probably my choice of bottle.
Because, how did I not know that?
Yeah, they're it's a really good brand. And that air filter helps with like the colic and not having as much gas. We used I think it was called Como, and they were silicone bottles, and the nipple was the most similar to like Mom. And so a lactation consultant actually recommended, because my girls both had difficulty with nursing, and so she recommended that bottle, and it worked great. And I liked it because it was silicone and not plastic. That was what I was looking for. So
whenever I get pregnant again, I'm going to like ask you that. Or I'm going to listen to this podcast, because I'm like, wait, what was the name of that one? That's really good.
Yeah.
Another thing that was like this is a side tip that really helped me. So when I had my son, it was like it was in February. So it was a lot colder. And obviously you want to like make sure the bottle, like the milk is warm and it's not like super cold. So like when we would travel, like to see baseball games, like, it was like super cold. So obviously you're not going to like just carry the milk outside of like an ice container, because you want the milk to stay fresh and whatnot. So, but you don't want to give the cold milk to your baby. Yeah. So what I did, and I invested in 2 Yeti cups, one for the amount of water that I was consuming on a regular basis. Like I drink so much water, and I still do. But I also got another Yeti cup that was specifically for warm water. Like actually I kept it pretty warm, pretty hot. Be very careful. But I kept that with me, and I took it with me, and I would basically put and warm up the bottle that way.
Yeah.
And it was like, this is a life hack.
Yeah, I did that too. When we would travel, I would do the same thing. I think I did like a thermos of water. But yeah, that's a really good tip, because I don't know if anyone told me that, or if
I don't think anybody. I think I saw it somewhere, and I'm like, gosh, this is genius. This is why like mothers are amazing, because they just share everything.
One thing my husband figured out. So I remember I got the cutest diaper bag. Right. I was so excited to pick out my diaper bag, and it came with, different little things inside and a little changing thing.
Do you like, sorry, this is so random, but do you like randomly like buying new pens and highlighters and all that stuff?
No.
Oh, never mind. Because I don't. I totally don't.
Where did that come from?
I don't know. I just was randomly like organizing everything, and I just would randomly like buy new things and organizing all my bags and things like that. I don't know. I don't know. I'm so random, you guys. Sorry. Okay, go for it.
So we had girls. And so of course I got this cute black bag with red, and it had these little flowers on it, and super excited about my diaper bag. And, my husband is usually the one who's carrying the diaper bag. And so he was kind of like, okay, really? I'm carrying this flower bag again. He didn't mind, but what we reverted to was a Nike backpack, and that is all we needed, because the Nike backpacks have all of these compartments, and so now it has like a water bottle space on each side.
Oh, so smart. For like
water or bottles, and then on the inside there's several different compartments. In the backpack straps were just easier and more comfortable than a diaper bag straps. And again, my husband was the one carrying it. So it's more like guy friendly. Yeah. Like
they have this like tactical baby gear now.
Really?
Yeah. Whoever invents all this, you guys, shout out, because you guys are amazing. So my husband, his brother is in the military, and it's like tactical gear. I don't know. To be honest, I have no idea how he even found that out, but he was just like giving me like an elbow wink that he wanted the tactical gear, because he was the same way. Like, I don't want to carry a girly like bag around. So it's like a man diaper bag.
Oh, that's awesome.
I don't know the stuff that people come out with, but anything that's like definitely something to think about too, though.
Yeah.
Get a diaper bag for both mom and dad. or one.
Yeah. Just a backpack.
Yeah, I know. I am like the bag lady because I carry like 10 bags. And I've gotten better now as he's gotten older.
Oh, yeah. All the stuff you'd want in the bag.
Oh, yeah.
In the beginning, right?
Like my kitchen sink. Where else do I need 5 towels?
Oh, my gosh. That thing used to be packed to the brim.
Oh, yeah. Because you never know. Like one day,
know.
like, I don't know. One time I was like, oh, we don't need that many outfits. Well, we had like a few code browns. Like, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I should have like packed a million outfits. So that wraps up our episode. I just want to say thank you.
Yes. Thank you for listening, and check us out at OT.Mommas.Life at Instagram and our website.
Yep. And definitely follow Brightside Mama and Heart of Occupation as well. Also, do not forget to rate, review, and subscribe to our podcast. We greatly appreciate it. And until next time.
Yep.